What's up, y'all? My name is Devonnie Simon, and welcome to another episode of 5 Quick Facts. Today we're talking about John Ford's 1940 drama adventure classic, The Grapes of Wrath. Cinematography of this timeless progressive American art was shot by Greg Toland, and he was known for most popular work when he shot Citizen Kane for Orson Welles, released just a year later. The Grapes of Wrath follows a tight-knit family, the Jones clan, in search for a better life during the Great Depression era. After their drought-ridden farm has been seized by the bank, their recently paroled son, played by Henry Fonda, leads the family across a cross-country trip for California sanctuary, or so they think. Before we get into the details, please don't forget to like and subscribe. More content will be uploaded every Friday. Now it's time to watch the trailer, starting now.
Sweeping across the country comes one of the great literary achievements of our time. A human, revealing, soul-stirring story that instantly becomes the most discussed novel of modern literature, The Grapes of Wrath.
The Grapes of Wrath, please.
I'll have to put you on the waiting list. We've never had such a demand for a book. Do you have a copy of Grapes of Wrath?
Sorry, we're all sold out.
Yes, The Grapes of Wrath. Well, send me as many copies as you can. I can't supply the demand.
The Grapes of Wrath.
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 The Grapes of Wrath. As sales skyrocket, The Grapes of Wrath becomes the book of the nation. Everyone, everywhere, joins in the discussion of its vital problems. Due to this unprecedented popularity, producers vie for the motion picture rights. And finally, 20th Century Fox announces the purchase of the book and plans for its immediate production. A storm of discussion arouses the nation. Speculation and rumor are rife to the effect that no producer will venture to film this great dramatic masterpiece of human hearts. Darrell F. Zanuck, production head of 20th Century Fox Studios, emphatically announces that The Grapes of Wrath will be made. All of the resources of this vast studio are marshaled for the production. John Ford, Academy Award winner, is given the directorial assignment. The cast is carefully chosen to make John Steinbeck's unforgettable characters come to life. Tom Joad is played by Henry Fonda. Maud Joad is played by Jane Darwell. Casey is played by John Carradine. Grandpa is played by Charlie Greatwin. Rosa Sharon is played by Doris Bowden. Maud Joad is played by Russell Simpson. Al is played by O.Z. Whitehead. Muley is played by John Quaylen. Connie is played by Eddie Quillen. And now, at last, The Grapes of Wrath is ready for the screen as the motion picture captures all the drama, suspense, action, tears and laughter of the story that stirred a nation.
John Ford was considered by many to be an odd choice for directing the novel. Why was because he was a political conservative known for tackling chunky subject matter, most often taking place in Western landscapes and war times. Ford surprised his critics by delivering probably his most sensitive film. Evidence of the matter can easily be understood with on-set stories, for example, involving John Ford banning all makeup and perfume from the production set on grounds that it was not in keeping with the tone of the picture. Henry Fonda kept the hat his character wore in the film for the rest of his entire life. Until he passed away in 1982, he gave it to his old friend Jane Withers. Tom Joad's final speech was read at his funeral, and I think that speaks volumes of the importance the role had on the actor's life.
While still struggling to make it in Hollywood, Fonda found it difficult being a contract player for 20th Century Fox because he wanted his ability to choose his own projects, which was pretty much what every other celebrity back in those times wanted to do, so he wasn't really the only one, but he did have the balls enough to at least make it known publicly so. Everyone in the industry was well aware how desperate Henry Fonda was for the lead role of Tom Joad, especially producer Darrell F. Zanuck, who played a mind game with Henry Fonda, where he let it be known the role was actually instead going to actor Tyrone Power.
Fonda pleaded with Zanuck for the part, and in order to get it, Zanuck talked Fonda into abandoning his beliefs to sign an 8-picture deal with 20th Century Fox.
In 1936, the San Francisco News hired Steinbeck to write articles about the migrant camps in California. Steinbeck described seeing families living in shanty shacks without running water, malnutrition, illness, and death running amok. Much of the material used was then later inputted for the novel.
The stock market crash in 1929 only served to implode an already shaky economic nightmare. Many independent farmers lost their farms when banks came to collect on their notes. But when in California, migrants set up camp along the irrigation ditches of the farms they were working on, leading to overpopulation and poor sanitary conditions. They lived in tents and out of the backs of the cars and trucks. The working hours were harshly long, and many children worked in the fields along with their parents. John Steinbeck wrote the novel in 1939, which led him to winning the Pulitzer Prize in 1940. This was the leading factor for Steinbeck later winning the Nobel Prize in 1962.
The Associated Farmers of California was upset by Steinbeck and his controversial writings by implying they were worth no more than cheap labor. Calling the book a pack of lies, the association then later burned his books publicly for supposed communism. Steinbeck encountered so much hostility after writing The Grapes of Wrath that he considered giving up writing altogether. Death threats started piling in enough to let the man start carrying a gun around town.
Throughout the film, the feeling of tragedy upon tragedy piles on top of itself. But what always manages to push through is the certainty of unity, particularly the unity of family bond. While the struggle is depicted on the brinks of desperation, nonetheless there is still dignity in the face of danger they face while on the road, whether it's disaster or adversity. The story of the Jode is that of thousands of migrant families struggling to find even less than the typical American dream. It was the American survival, and it seems that the past still rings true even to this day.
Alright, so those were my 5 facts why you should watch John Ford's Grapes of Wrath. The movie is well worth the viewing and a fine retrospective time capsule of how America treated its own in a desperate time of need, rather instead of helping each other up on its fallen knees. And I believe many of its messages still ring true to today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let a brother know if there's any other classic films or modern films that you want me to dig up and provide you research on. Till next time, folks. Peace.